Good morning. I'm Brett, and welcome to my backyard. It's another beautiful day here at 8th Acre Farms. As you can probably tell from my shirt, it's already a bit humid this morning, but otherwise, a beautiful day for gardening. It's getting close. We're just a few weeks away from fall here, so I hope everybody's been getting started on their fall garden, getting some things going. Being in Zone 8A here in East Texas, we have a chance to have two different growing seasons. And so some of our stuff we were able to carry over through the drought that we've had. I've showed you in previous videos. And some of it we just had to go ahead and replant. But that's okay. We're going to get some good vegetables before it gets to be wintertime. But another thing about fall planting is it's the best time for planting your trees. And so that's what I want to do a little bit in today's video, is show you this here. Oh, that might be a little low. See this little tree here? Now y'all may have seen my video last fall that these little things, this is a pomegranate tree, and I found this pomegranate floating up in the ocean when I was at the coast. And I brought it home, and in that video I showed you about how to take the seeds out, how to dry them, and get them planted. And they produce these little trees here. But as you can see, this tree, it hasn't grown a lot over the past year. And one of the things that may be hindering it is the size of the pot that it's in. So anyway, getting back to it, fall is a great time for planting. And so whether you're wanting to take your little trees and transplant them into the ground, or you just need them in a bigger pot like I'm going to do. I haven't quite figured out where I want to put them around the yard yet. So what I'm going to do is be moving them up in size. So if we put these side by side, see, give it a lot more room to grow there with the roots. I think that's going to help it out quite a bit. One of the things that can happen with any of your plants that are in a pot is you need to know what size you're using. Whether you're using a small one like this to get them started. This is a good upgrade pot. I'm gonna go a bit bigger to carry them over into the winter, or I've got some over there that are real big around that may be a more permanent type pot. It's good to have the appropriate size pot for your plants, and I'll show you why. So let's get started with this one. I need to give it a little base here, something for them roots to grow down into. So let's get a couple of scoops of our prepared mix here. I've showed y'all in a previous video about how I prepare a cheaper potting soil. If you're doing a lot of potting, you may want to go ahead and prepare your own potting soil. You can get a lot more bang for your buck. If you don't do much, maybe a bag already prepared for you is okay. But we do quite a bit, especially when you're trying to fill up a pot of this size. Them bags of potting soil can go very quickly. So we've got a base. Let's check it. We're just going to simply set that in there, maybe a little bit more. One of the things when you're transplanting is the height also of your plant. Some of your tomatoes, things like that, they don't mind being buried up on the stem. In fact, for things like tomatoes, it may be better for them because they'll just make roots anywhere along that stem that you plant them. Trees are a little bit different. They're kind of like me. Once they get to a spot that they're comfortable in, that's just where they like to stay. So we want to try to keep that same height when we're transplanting a tree. Like I said, whether that's in the ground or in our pot here, allowing it room to grow up for the next several months, we're going to give it that same height that we're going to set it back in there at. So now we got a good base. That looks like once we set the little tree down in here, that's going to be of a good height. Let's see if we can remove it. And I bet we're going to discover something. Here. Oh, just watered that so it's kind of sticking to the pot a little bit there. I don't know if y'all can see that in the video. You can see them little roots here. It was running out of room. Oh, there's a little root coming up there. Running out of room to grow down there. That may be hindering this tree from growing anymore, because if its roots have hit the bottom, it doesn't have the support to grow the height here that we want. So it may be telling the little tree that that's as big as it can get. And we don't want that to happen, because the tree, it may not feel wanted or loved, or whatever trees do. And it may start experiencing something like this. If you can see that, see a little brown tip on that leaf. This is not a happy little tree. It needs a new home as well. So we've got that in there. We got the same height. We've got a good base. Let's just fill in around it. Be sure we don't have to have it too compacted when we fill it in here. It doesn't have to be tight. In fact, it'd probably be good to have the soil be a little loose, give some room for those roots to grow. But we're going to go around. We'll just give it a slight tamp in here. That way we can fill it on up. All right, we see how easy that was for that little tree, and how we've got same height there for the base of the stem. That's going to be a happy little tree, going to grow on quite a bit from there. Now, like I said, we don't want to just squash the ground in. We don't want to damage the stem. We don't want to damage the roots. But what we do want to do, now that we've got this tree transplanted, we want to water it in real good. And water will naturally settle that dirt for us. And it'll give it a good something to drink to grow on up. And I'll show you just that little difference, what could happen here. I'm a little behind, so I'm doing this one today. I've had several of these to do, but I'll show you one that I've did about 6 or 8 weeks ago. Oh golly, it's heavy. This is what happens if you keep a tree with some room to grow. Look at that height difference there. That's just 6 to 8 weeks of growth. And that tree's going to grow on down from here. Let me get this here. That's a bad guy there. We don't want that one. Don't worry, I got it. Not all bugs are beneficial in our garden. Most are. That was not one of them. So anyway, like I said, right there, we easily transplanted a tree today, and it'll be able to hold over in the winter in this little pot here. It'll allow them roots time to go on down, and then I'll move that pot size up if I'm not ready to go out with it yet, because I probably won't be. I'm gonna keep them in here, I think, until next fall, and then I'll have a substantial root ball. Once I move up one more pot size, give me a good substantial root ball, a little height to put out here in the garden. Maybe I'll figure out what I want to do with it by then. But that's good for today. And like I said, this was just a pomegranate that I found floating in the water. Now, you don't have to get all your fruit from oceans. You could do like I did here if you're doing your fall gardening. This is a tray of poblanos here. I got this one from the local grocery store. I like the poblanos because they're good. You can stuff them, throw them on a grill. Oh, they're wonderful pepper. Lots of good places you can get seeds. Don't be afraid to ask your neighbor if they've got something. Maybe they'll be able to share with you, and we can get some other fruit growing in our fall garden. Well, I hope y'all have enjoyed that short little video today. We'll catch y'all next time.